Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Potomac Season 5, the finale, which would be episode 18. Nope, episode 19. Correction, and thank God this shit is over. I'm just done. I'm so sick of it. I don't even really care about nothing that happens to anybody on the damn show, okay? So, with all that being said, let's get to the review, shall we? All right, you guys, so let's start with Robin. All right, Robin and Juan are at a lounge. They're looking at a place. They say that they give a holiday party every year. All right, and this year will be no different. I said, now, we've been on this fucking show for 5 seasons. Can you guys remember Juan and Robin having a holiday party? You know what? Actually, they probably weren't filming. They probably normally don't film during Christmas time for Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay. I'm gonna give her a pass on that. Cause I was like, bitch, we ain't seen no holiday party, but they probably don't film at that time. That's usually when maybe Housewives of Atlanta is starting to wrap their season up. But anyway, we all know that this shit is for the proposal that Robin keep on trying to act like she don't know what's coming up. We all know that this holiday party is for that, okay, and for Juan to have a special place to do this. But she want to keep on with this damn going to have this holiday party, then okay. You know, Giselle is so excited about it. She even calls Juan, and and he was just like, "What's up, Giselle?" And she says, "I just want to know, what's the plan for the proposal?" And he says, "Oh, it's just going to be his family, their family and friends, just there at the lounge, and he plans on proposing then." So, Giselle is so excited. Does Robin have any idea about any of this? And he says no. I say yes. Okay, but go off, sis. Now, before we get into this whole engagement thing, they decide to go to, I guess it's sort of like premarital counseling. And so they sit down with a therapist, and it's the same story that we've heard with Robin and Juan. We clear on their relationship and how the shit went. Juan was a professional basketball player. He was out there doing what he was doing. He was not happy in his marriage. Robin was home and taking care of the kids and the family and all that, and she probably wasn't the best wife either. And they went on along, and finally she couldn't take it anymore, and she filed for divorce. Now, because of financial reasons, they never separated, even though they were divorced. They were still under the same roof trying to take care of their kids. It was a very unconventional, whatever the fuck it was. And somewhere along the lines, Juan started to realize the value that he had in Robin. The road to recovery began. These two seemed to make it back to each other. Some people will say that they never were apart, and really it was a very strange relationship because they were still sexual. They were still sleeping in the same bed. They were everything that would say that they were together, even though they both would say that they weren't, but, yeah, so even though they never really physically were apart from each other, I guess emotionally, physically, sexually, they were apart, and he was out there cheating and all of this and turning to other people for that. That did hurt Robin to hear that, but he says now he's a better man and he wants to make Robin proud, and Robin starts crying and saying that she's so proud of him because, when you get older, you get wiser, you just be tired, really, out there just in them streets like that, after a while, you just be like, I'm too fucking old to still be out here doing this shit. It's time to settle it down somewhere. Fucking, Robin been there all this time. She know you the best. You break up with her and get with a new bitch, and honey, it's gonna be, new bitch, same problem. So you might as well stick with the one you got now, They seem to be happy with each other. She's proud of him. He's proud of her. He wants to make her proud. I'm happy for him too, child. If y'all like it, I love it. Now, speaking of therapists, we also see Monique go to see her therapist. Actually, this is a new therapist. I said, Monique done seen about 10 different people on this damn show. Okay. But this woman is named Esther. And actually, Esther was referred to her by Ashley. And Monique seems to like Esther. Esther asks her how she's been. She says that this whole debacle with Candace has turned her life upside down. She doesn't really have an appetite. She's just always worried about that. And I'm sure that this particular season is probably one Monique would like to forget the most. But she's telling the therapist that she just feels like she's in a circle of women who have ousted her, and it doesn't feel good. Okay, she's been iced out many of you guys will bring up the fact that she wanted to do the same thing to Candace at the beginning of the season. And now, she realizes that that's not a good feeling when you're a part of a group and everybody kind of ostracizes you. So she just feels like she's always trying to fight to prove herself to these women, much like how she's done her whole life growing up, in schools and having to prove what kind of person that she is. And the therapist was like, well, it's because you've done that so much, you've built a wall and now you've made it impossible or very difficult for people to get close to you. And Monique says, yeah, that makes sense. That's probably true. But I will just say that I think that Monique still feels the way she feels about this, even though she said that there's going to be a lot of growth this season and her changing and everything. Monique still feels the way that she feels, because when the producers ask her in the confessionals, does she have any remorse for what she did? She said that she had remorse for what she did, but she doesn't have any remorse for defending herself. So basically, if I had to beat a bitch ass, then that's what I had to do. I mean, I'm remorseful that I had to do that, but I had to do. So it's just sort of like, Monique, girl, you kind of still in the same place. But I mean, if that's how she feels, child, that's how she feels. Jumping over to Ashley. Ashley says that the family meeting that she and Michael had, with her uncle and her mom, it really helped, and that it was really a relief now, because she feels like she and Michael can really move forward. Okay, being reprimanded as an 84-year-old man by these little young people, and one of them you paying their bills and the other one is suspect. But okay, it's little baby Dean's 5th month birthday. And so they're celebrating that, with him, cute little outfit on the floor, taking pictures, milestones and all that. Even Michael got down there with him. And I was like, it is just uncanny how them two look exactly alike. But you guys, really, if we was to shave Ashley's head and put her next to Michael and baby Dean, honey, they look like triplets. And Ashley is kind of alien, look like just like Michael is. Anyway, after they take their pictures, they sit down and they talking. And she was just like, I wanted to tell you about the wig shift party. He's just like, oh, the wig shift party. He's kind of making fun of the name. And she was saying that Karen had invited both Monique and Candace was really upset about that. And he was like, oh, Candace gets to be a victim once again. I said, oh, we got petty Michael in this episode. Petty, kind of bitch made like Michael in this episode. Michael is salty. You guys have to remember that Michael has a special bone to pick with Candace and Robin, because they're the ones that kind of spilled the beans about what happened at the party last season. Okay. Robin says, oh yeah, I heard him say, yeah, I would suck his dick. And then Candace, of course, blew it out the water by telling everybody, right? So Michael, without saying it, he got a problem with these two. So when they sit down and they're talking, and then she says, oh, and I got to tell you that Juan is going to propose to Robin. And he was just like, Juan doesn't want to get married. And she was just like, what? Why are you saying that? He's like, he hasn't said that. I just know it as one man to another. He's just like, he doesn't really want to. And she was like, what did he say? Like, is this something that I should know? Is this something that Robin should know? And he was just like, no, I've already said too much. But he's pleased with himself that he's planted the bug, first of all, in Ashley, because Ashley, all she needs is a little bug, child, and she gonna take that shit and run. But he's also pleased with himself because he's kind of getting back at Robin. You see how Ashley was kind of smirking. I feel like Ashley gave Michael the permission to kind of do this. Like, if he said, well, if I decide to say or do some things, is it okay? And she probably was like, yeah, as long as it don't go too far, go right on ahead. Because he just was smirking, and then she was just sort of like kind of tickled by it. Like, what is this? And he was like, I said too much. I'm not going to say anything else. But, you've been doing this show for 5 years now. When the cameras are around. I'm sure you know how to not say shit. Messy Ashley and Michael are back. And then, you guys, we see Candace. She and her mom are going to get their nails done. She said that her mom has been in her corner the entire time, which we expected her mother to be. Her mom asked her, how is the house buying, how's that coming along? And she says that, you know, they are still looking and she's ready to have a baby. And she wants to make sure that she does have a house that she loves, considering this is the house that she will be raising her children in. But Candace is happy that she and her mom are in a good place this season. We haven't seen much of her mom this season at all. Not as much as we did last season, because it's all been about this fucking fight.
To actually be going to HSN to be selling La Dame perfume is a dream come true. And my man is celebrating me as a partner in this marriage.
That's right, you guys. You heard it. Karen will be selling La Dame fragrance on HSN. And you guys know whenever you go on those type of shows, you do really well. And so good for her. All right. She's talking to Uncle Jessup, who's there. You know, he's proud of his girl, gives her a hug and everything. She asked him if he's going to be coming, and he was just like, you know, I wanted to come, but I can't come because of work. And I was like, is he retired or not? What work he doing, you guys? But anyway, she was telling him about the wig shift party also and how it went left.
These girls were just like, oh my God, you tried to set up Candace. You tried to set up Candace. I would never set up Candace. And I can prove it because I have the text messages that I sent to both of them. And it gave them different times with no overlap. I will accommodate both of my friends, but they don't see it that way.
She can't even worry about that too much. She's off to HSN to sell the La Dame fragrance. Did you guys see when they showed her? I was like, look at her up there looking like an old ass Mariah Carey on the Christmas album with her red and her fur and everything. I said, okay, Karen. Did I tell you guys about Giselle and the fact that this is her first Christmas in her new home? The girls are decorating. They're not really inspired. Don't look like it. But she says that Jamal will be spending the holiday with them there and all that. So fine, whatever, child. Anyway, let's get to Robin's party. Everybody is getting dressed, okay? Even Giselle is excited. She calls her friend Kyle, who's going to be her date, because you guessed it, Jamal won't be there again. She has her clothes laid out, and I was like, well, I can't wait to see what this jewel will be. You know, that fashion disaster that is Giselle. How something so cute could just be just fucked up when it comes to clothes. But it was some sequin sparkle number, and I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. But anyway, the party, everybody is on their way. We see Candace in the car with her husband, Chris. She's going to be singing her song there. Robin asked her to sing, I can't even think of the name of the song. I don't know. Is he a fun weary part? All I know is that I love you. Actually, it's a really good song, you guys. I'm just teasing. She's excited about it, but she's also not sure how everything is going to go with Karen and the wig shift party and how that all, you know, played out. You know, she's not real sure if she should look up to Karen like she used to, you know, as a mother, because Karen has, I guess she feels like Karen has stabbed her in the back. Chris says, just get there and enjoy yourself. Giselle gets there next with her friend Kyle. The pants don't look bad. The shirt, like, I don't know. Maybe if I wish the shirt was black. But if the outfit wasn't that bad, this headband, it's like, it's always one thing to throw the shit off. It's like, what you got this headband off of, Giselle? But whatever, she gets there next. Then we see Ashley and Michael. You know, Giselle is trying to be petty with Michael. You know, oh, you came, you know, you've been watching Dean and all of these things. But honey, what she doesn't know is that Michael is about to be the queen of petty tonight. You can see it in his face. When he gets there, he has a smirk on his face. Because I'm telling you, Ashley gave him the green light. Because the whole night, he is like a fucking bitch. The whole time, he would have been like the seventh housewife, really. Ashley asks Giselle if Jamal is there, and she says no, because he has church the next day, and this is a Saturday, and he has to be in Atlanta. You know, she was like, oh, I thought that this was going to be the day. So yeah, they were in that mode already. We find out that Karen has texted Robin and said that she's not going to make it because her plane has been delayed. She hasn't been able to make it back. Oh, you guys know the girls take that and run for sure. Robin says that it's all bullshit, that Karen is just avoiding coming because of the shit that she said about Juan last week at the wig shift party, and she just doesn't want to own up to this whole situation with Candace and Monique and all of that. So that's the reason why she's avoiding coming. Then we get Wendy and her man get there. Okay, so everybody is there, right? Everybody with the exception of Karen. But anyway, the men all gather together, and for whatever reason, Michael and Juan have a very close relationship. I'm thinking off air. Okay. So Michael kind of feels like he's got this certain insight to Juan. We know that he's always had some sort of something with Juan. They haven't played it up too much on the show, but we know that them two are closer than probably the rest of the husbands. While the girls are over there talking about Karen and the slick shit that she said about Juan and all of that, we see Ashley and Giselle sit kind of off from the group, and they're talking about the conversation that Ashley had with Michael. And she says that Michael seems to believe that Juan is not really up to doing what he's doing tonight. And, Giselle was like, what? And she was like, yeah, he said something like, he doesn't really care about all of this. And Giselle was like, well, what is going through Juan's mind? Like, what is it? Michael needs to either say what it is or just be quiet. And I agree. If Michael's going to stir up that kind of drama, then he needs to come all the way clean with it. But tonight is not the time. Okay. Clearly tonight we doing this proposal, and we don't need you up here trying to figure out if, Juan really wants to propose to Robin. And I mean, why else would he be doing it? He ain't nobody tying him, forcing him to propose to this woman. So Giselle jumps up like, oh, I gotta go find Juan, because I was like, girl, why are you stirring all of this up? First of all, Giselle is messy for trying to get all that going at the party. And Ashley is messy for bringing the shit in the first place, because really Giselle could have shut that down when her and Ashley was talking from the beginning. When Ashley started to tell her about it, she'd have been like, girl, that's not for tonight. Not for tonight. This is supposed to be one of your besties. And you still like, well, what did he say about Juan and Robin? Why would you want that to even be caught on camera? So it's just sort of like, oh, that Giselle. I mean, with friends like that, I don't know what kind of enemy you need. She is just, she's something. Ashley is still trying to get him to tell her exactly what Juan has said. And, he's like, I'm not saying anything, thank you, honey. Don't worry about it. She was just like, well, do I have to grow a dick for you to tell me what it is? And of course that could be taken many ways. Ashley knows what she's doing. I'm telling you, Ashley and Michael planned this whole night. But I'll get back to them in a bit. So it's time for Candace to sing her song. She gets up there. The sound is all off. You can barely hear the music, but you know what? The show must go on. Okay. And like the consummate performer that she is, I don't know who's here or far, who's where we start. And all I know is that I love you. But you guys, the music finally pops in, and then she sings it, and she sounds good, and the song sounds good. And anybody that's talking about her, namely Ashley, who tried to be a singer herself, who sucks, you have no room to talk about Candace, because your shit is some for real bullshit. She gets through it. Robin seems to be happy. That's all that matters. She gets up there on the mic. She tells everybody thanks for coming. She says that there is an open bar, for everybody to, go and have drinks and enjoy themselves. And then Robin is followed up by Juan, who comes up there and he says that, she's his rock and she's been there through ups and downs, and, he loves her so, and he wants to do something real quick, and he gets down on his knees, and then everybody starts screaming. I said, well, if her family and friends were there, they surely didn't get to partake in the festivities, because all I could hear and see was the fucking Housewives all jumping up in the middle of the damn floor and all running up to her and all. Bitch, will you sit down? Can this nigga say, will you marry me, without you running all up and doing all of that? Okay, do you even like her like that? It's just like, sit down. So all her family is back in the background, and here go Candace and Wendy just running all of... He proposes, and, Robin act like she didn't know what was happening, but she looked happy, and that's what matters. And her ring was pretty, and that's what she wanted. And Juan looks happy. So we did it. They are now officially engaged. Afterwards, Michael goes up to Juan and tells him, you're a good man for that. You did good tonight. And, I can't wait until we get to the bachelor party. He starts laughing, and, Juan was like, just the two of us, no cameras, no cameras. Child, we ain't even gonna get into no discussions about Michael and Juan's relationship. Okay? I also feel like Juan and Michael probably have had conversations about like, oh, that show is just like, they don't take the shit seriously. That's Robin's thing. That's Ashley's thing. Like, they kind of have this friendship and this camaraderie where they just sort of like, that's their thing. Like, you know, so that's how you can tell how Michael kind of approaches it with Juan. Juan is still trying to play the role on the show, though, and Michael is just like, he don't give a fuck. Michael's still mad from what happened last season. Possibly have to go to court, get sued, might get kicked off the show. You know, they talked about him really bad last season, so that's why Michael is kicking up all of this fuss tonight. This was his last little hurrah. Like, you know what? I'm just going to act the fool that I can. But you can see that Michael is getting drunk. And see, that's where the plan kind of gets messed up. Because even though I feel like Michael and Ashley did plan this, I feel like the plan was not for Michael to get that drunk where he's just out of control. You can be messy, you can be petty, you can do what you want and say what you want, but you cannot get so fucked up that, you know, you start embarrassing me. I'm sure that's what Ashley said. So that's why the night went left for them. But yeah, Michael, he was in it, child. But back to the women. The girls are over there talking. Still going on and on about Karen not being there, you know, and why she didn't want to come because she didn't want to face the music or what happened last week. And then who should walk in the door but Karen and Uncle Jessup. When they walk in, they bump into Chris first, Candace's husband. And he was like, you just missed it. Like, you just missed the proposal.
Yeah, and I hate that I missed it. You know, this was a moment for Robin. Robin don't get many moments. No, Robin don't really have many moments.
Anyway, you guys, she comes in, she greets them all. The girls are all just sort of like, oh, there is Karen, while they were sitting there talking bad about Karen, not thinking that she was coming, but Karen did show up. Okay, so what you got to say now, Giselle? But they did seem a little bit shook when they saw Karen, but whatever. We sit down, you know, Karen get to telling them about the flight.
You know, I had a flight coming back, and then they told me that it wasn't available, and then I waited for a few hours, and I went over to North Carolina. I said I would fly home through North Carolina.
Robin was just like, well, I'm glad that you came, because I must say that I felt like maybe you was just avoiding us because of what happened last week.
Whatever happened last week is already forgiven.
And they were like, already forgiven? What you forgiving us for? You the one left us at your party. This is the whole thing with Karen. You be riding hard for Karen, and I still love Karen, I do. But Karen is one of those people who lie for no fucking reason. Okay? She one of them people that just lie. You ever had a friend that lie all the fucking time? You know they lying. They know they lying. Everybody know they lying. It's an unnecessary lie. You know, that's what Karen is. Karen will lie about shit even when she's right. It's just sort of like, Karen, why do you, what the fuck you lie so much for? Girl, this is why it's so hard to defend you some days. So Karen get to talking about her, you know, she left because she had a date scheduled for that night. And they were like, why would you leave your own party and have a date scheduled?
Well, I can date my man if I want to, can't I?
Yes, but you had a party, Karen. That was your party. You had food and drinks there. So it's just sort of like, what? Girl, you lying. You know, it don't even mean nothing. Why you doing this? Giselle brings up the shit about the ambush. You know, you tried to set up Candace. You ambushed Candace.
I had Candace come early because I told Monique to come at a certain time.
So she told one to come at one time, the other one to come at another time. Candace was like, what if I would have came at 5 o'clock?
Oh, you wouldn't have done that.
How do you know that I wouldn't have done that? You know what? I don't even really know. To me, it seemed like Karen was trying to get the girls there together at the same time. To me, I told you guys last week, I felt like maybe she was hoping that they could have a conversation, okay? But Karen won't, for whatever reason, she won't be clear about that. Like, she keeps on just saying, and I really honestly don't think that Karen wants Monique and Candace to fight again. But it's just sort of like, why can't you just say what you did it for? You know? But all this talking around and not making no sense and, you know, all of this,
it will all come out when Monique says her piece.
I'm just like, Karen, you making the battle harder for yourself. Candace says that she's either lying or she's delusional, but then Candace gets really, really upset, and it's like she starts yelling at Karen because, she feels like Karen and Ashley are drinking the bullshit. Oh, this was the part where, now last week I made a mistake. I used the wrong word. When I told you guys that Candace was selfish, that's not the word that I should have used. I should have said self-centered. She believes that everything centers around her. She will never get over the feeling that somebody might not be on her side. Okay, right, wrong, or indifferent. Everybody doesn't agree with you. Everybody doesn't like you. That's just the way of the world. Okay, it's shit that we have to accept. And she going off and screaming at Karen about her choosing to be on Monique's side or whatever. I was just like, oh my God. I was just like, I don't care. I don't really care about Candace's feelings, Monique's feelings, Karen's feelings at this point. Like, I'm over it. But anyway, that's all going on over there, and Michael is watching from afar. Now, Michael has had his drinks, you can tell. He's got that smirk on his face. He walks over to Chris, and I was like, this is a mistake. Okay, you can't go up to no man telling them about their wife. I don't give a fuck. Okay, especially when your history is not that good. So he goes up to him, he's like, all right, you need to go over there and, you control your wife. It's not a good look for us. Chris was like, what? Yeah, you need to go over there and control your wife. Chris was like, did you touch me? Now, Chris was on go. He wanted to do something, and Michael just happened to be the one. Chris turns around and pushes him back. Michael didn't really touch Chris, but I know some of you inch-eye private eyes out there be like, did you see when you roll the camera back and you get real close and you see that the corner of his jacket touched Chris? Y'all be killing me. I didn't see that Michael had touched Chris. Chris definitely wanted it with Michael. He's already frustrated. He's all, you touch me. He's all pushing Michael back, and Michael's like, he touched me. He's gonna go to jail. He's gonna get arrested. Security comes. The girls that are over there arguing, they hear all of the commotion, so they jump up and run over there. Candace goes to Chris, and he was like, he touched me, and he tells me about something. Don't come telling me shit about my wife. Okay, and then Ashley goes to ask Michael what happened, and Michael tells her, he touched me, and he pushed me, and I'm a businessman, and all of this. So then Ashley got to go over there and defend her man, and now Candace is arguing with Ashley, and all of this. The security come and was just like, y'all got to go. Talking to Candace and Chris, get the fuck out. Okay, that's it. Chris is hot, pissed off in the hallway, saying how Michael won't never step to no man. He just gonna step to the women because he's a bitch. But I was like, well, he walked up to you, so I mean, unless you're a woman, But I knew what he meant. So they out there are fussing, and Michael is in the place with Ashley. The girls are all having a good ass time. The rest of them, Robin is drunk, Juan is drunk. They celebrating. They don't care about none of all of that stuff that's going on. They in there dancing and everything. Ashley is getting madder and madder because she can't even enjoy herself. She's so pissed. Well, Michael has gotten to that point past control where he's just super drunk. He's just saying and doing anything. And then now security is like trying to put him out, and he's yelling and screaming, and she's yelling at him like, you're embarrassing me. You're fucking embarrassing me, and all of this. I was just like, I just laughed at Ashley and Michael, child. They just came in there and just wrecked all kind of havoc. But nobody was really paying them any attention. Even when Karen walked out and she tried to have a conversation with Candace and, saying how it's terrible that they tear themselves apart. And, Candace was still trying to make Karen feel like she needs to choose. And I was like, Karen, don't try to talk to her no more. These some damn kids. You just need to leave. Okay, just leave out. Her and Uncle Jessup leaves. I guess Candace and Chris leaves, and then of course Ashley and Michael, they leave. She's so pissed at the way he's acting, but she's not pissed about all of the other stuff, just the fact that he had to do this last little part, because for the most part Ashley was locked in with Michael for all of the other drama of the night. And then as far as the last words, you guys, Karen and Uncle Jessup are still working on their marriage. Candace and Chris are working on a baby. Juan and Robin are building a house together. Wendy is still trying to figure out her future. Giselle is still with Jamal, who lives in her phone. And Ashley, even with all that shit that happened that night, the next day they went on vacation to the Bahamas. So like I said, none of that shit bothers Ashley. She knows what she has in her husband, and she knows everything that he's going to do. They play this show together, and with the exception of Michael really getting super drunk and acting a fool, she was okay with the rest of the night. Trust me, she was okay. And then as far as Candace and Monique, so they asked Monique whatever happened with the case, and Monique said that basically the case was dropped. And Monique laughs about it. Like, she just kind of feels like, oh, well, like, you know, they felt like it wasn't me attacking her. It's just that these girls were fighting. Candace is still very upset about it, saying that, you know, the courts listened to Monique and her funky ass, janky ass lawyers and kind of just looked at the whole thing as reality show fodder and just dropped the whole thing. But she's still very much affected by it. I was just like, well, Candace, I can't say, you know, that you do or don't deserve to feel the way that you feel. But I'm just going to say that you're going to have to figure out some sort of way to get past it. Okay. If you have a future on this show and Monique is going to be around, we can't have season after season of you crying about it, you know, and, you're going to have to get stronger and you're going to have to move forward. She seems to be happy in her life, so I'm sure she can get past it. I think we just done. Monique still feels the way that she feels. I don't think that Monique has any regrets. She's still on the show. So it is not like she had to pay in that kind of way. So it's just sort of like everybody's going to have to figure out a way to move on. And that, my friends, will wrap up the season 5 of Real Housewives of Potomac. All right, you guys, let me get off of here. I've been out here way too long. So many people have called and interrupted this video. So if the flow of the video feels different any kind of way, it's because I got like 5 calls. Okay, you guys know I record on my phone. But I'm going to get off of here and get this edited and up to you guys. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.